A very good morning to you and welcome to AM News.
Good morning, and thank you for welcoming me, and good morning to the listeners as well.
First and foremost, tell me about your work at the Women's Positive Network.
Okay. Positive Women's Network is an organization that is there to create empowerment and assist young women and girls and women in general on their women's rights, sexual and reproductive health, and also living positively with HIV. So last year, one of the things that we did when we heard about the story of the girls in Nigeria, we took it upon ourselves to making sure that we create a space among us with other women who were very concerned, Vanessa, Rose, Lirato, and Steve. We sat and we created a team, and we said, what can we do? How can we busy? The message of Positive Women always says, delay sex to young girls and stay at school, finish your studies, no drugs, no alcohol, all of that. We always give that message, especially to young girls, because it's likely that a boy child would finish their education more than a young girl. So now when this crisis happened at school, it became also a problem for us, because now the matter of safety, the matter of infrastructure at schools, as you know, even if you take it back to South Africa, if you were to think about how many schools in the areas where we work, like in the Eastern Cape, where you can see that the school is it's not okay, there's not enough, the toilets are not there, and so schools must be pleasant so that all our girl children can stay and finish their education. So when that took place, we were very concerned.
So I know that the campaign has started off, and you got this wonderful T-shirts I see here as well.
Yes.
How did the campaign go?
The campaign went very well. We went to the Nigeria embassy, and we handed over our demands and our memorandum in support of the young girls in Nigeria, and also working with NGOs in Nigeria who are women's rights based there. The campaign took place, and it ended up even being taken by the ANC Women's League, which we had plans. We wanted to go to Nigeria and meet with the other organizations and meet with the president around this issue. However, when the campaign was taken over by the ANC Women's League, it was hijacked, and we couldn't proceed and go to Nigeria. So now, with what we are seated at, not much has happened. Yes. We were in the community of the status of the women in New York now in March, and we spoke about all the issues that relate to girls, relate to women, the Beijing Plus conference that happened in China, and now we were accounting in New York as a country, as South Africa. And one of the other things, this matter of the Nigerian girls was on the table. However, I feel our politicians are not doing enough to making sure that the safety of the women must be free from being raped. They are the citizen, and even the younger girls, even here at home, just here around the corner, Hillbrow, young girls aged 3 years are being trafficked, and we need to be robust and do something around that. Yeah. And I call upon Minister Susan Shabangu to please see to it that such issues also do not happen. The safety and security also, they need to make sure that such issues don't happen. NPA need to make sure that such issues don't happen. And I feel like we have come to that point where we're just leaving things to just fall apart. There isn't that culture of Ubuntu and, working together.
Now, as the Positive Women's Network, what more do you think should be done in order to protect the African child, especially the African girl child?
There's a website that says Maibuye, that's the website, .org. That website define it, that we need to come to a place where we forget about trying to, to kill each other on religion, trying to militarize, trying to, degrade our culture, trying to, vandalize all what we have, not supporting a girl child at school, at home, in the environment where they need to be at. It talks about drugs. These girls today, we know they were sold. They were sold as the sex slave. We know that. And we know that they have not been found. If it was in another country, I know, if it wasn't in Africa, they would have been found. We did not do enough. And I'm very happy that the Nigerian community made their vote. And in making their vote, former President Jonathan didn't come back.
Yes.
That would have been my vote also if I was a Nigerian, because it's things like that we need to also practice and make sure as citizens we vote to make sure that we say this is what we want. But as PWN, Positive Women's Network, we are here to support all the girls. We are working on, we just did a research on, gender gaps and disparities, on socio-economic and the policy gaps that exist in South Africa. And we, in that, have come up with recommendation, and we're quite willing to work with the government and to assist our community. As I say, we exist in 5 provinces, Mpumalanga, KZN, Gauteng, and Western Cape. So we are here and we want to work with everybody that wants to come on the table.
To improve
the lives of young girls and women.
Now, recently a 15-year-old Cape Town girl was rescued from joining ISIS, which is a terror organization. What can we as parents do to safeguard our children from things like this?
Okay, that one is very important. Every child would sit on the internet, they sit on their cell phone, and they can go to any site. So we need to make sure that we also safeguard our children. We monitor them. We talk to them about things that they don't want to talk about. There's a woman who also wrote something about how does she speak to her teenager, because teenagers don't want to, when you say, how was school? They say, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there's not an engagement.
Yes.
So we need to find those languages that makes them talk to us
and
around.
engage, yes.
And then also do look at what they're doing. Children today, they are not monitored. They're doing their own thing. The parents themselves are on cell phones, are on internet. No one says this is family time.
Yes.
So we need to break apart from that. Many parents even today do not believe that their own children take drugs, they smoke, they drink. It's because they are not monitored. Yes. And we need to bring that, because in the past, your neighbor was your mother,
yes.
Your opposite was your mother, whoever. But these days...
The neighbor's child was your child.
Yeah, your child. When you see a grandmother in the corner, you would go help them with things. These days, our children, they know what they want, they have rights. And we are contributing as parents to making them be what they are by just also spoiling, not having rules and good regulation and responsibilities.
On this day, a year later, the girls have been kidnapped in Nigeria. Your message as the Positive Women's Network to Nigerians, to women here on the African continent, right here in this particular town, Johannesburg, and of course the broader South Africa, what is your message to us?
Our message is we've waited for a year, and it is clearly that the girls have never come back and they've never returned. And the silence around them. Now, the least that we can do, at least now, we have to put the face and still talk to the people who affected their own parents and still talk to the NGOs. And most probably, we will find them as survivors of some sort of violence, of some sort of forced marriage, of some sort of sex slave. But even then, it's never too late, because here in South Africa, near Flagstaff, they were adopting children. But those children also today have been brought back to their families, and those people were arrested, and those children are something. Yeah.
Prudence, thank you so much for joining us here in studio.
Thank you.
Now that was Prudence Mabele, the Executive Director of Positive Women's Network, joining us in studio. Let's take a